Welcome back to another Shut Up No One Cares, Get Back to Work podcast. I'm your host, Colin Stuckert, and I just had a doozy of a morning. Today's show is about evergreen, first principles, big ideas that are going to stand the test of time. Now, I had a whole show planned out, and the article that I like to talk about in every episode already written out. I even edited the damn thing. And now, for some reason, the app I'm using, the Bear app, a writing app that syncs to iOS devices, for some reason, the syncing didn't work properly. And my note got removed somehow or deleted somehow, and I spent 20 minutes trying to find it. You know, my Wi-Fi here was off, so I used my phone. That had a slow connection, and then I opened up the app, and then it showed that didn't have any of the text that I wrote on my iPad, and so I went to the iPad and opened it, and that synced, and then it looked like it erased it because it went by the iPhone update. I mean, I don't know. Like, this just seems stupid that, like, at least it should be a conflict or something, but for whatever reason, I lost that entire show outline, and I was considering not recording. I was about to go upstairs. There's actually some food waiting, and I'm just overall pretty damn frustrated, to be honest. It's not often that I get frustrated like this. I'm pretty good at managing this type of stuff. I mean, I don't lose things that often because I'm so careful. I've lost so many things in the past that I use, Command S. I use the save like every few minutes when I'm writing. When I'm copy pasting, I usually do Command A, Command C so that I can select all, then copy, just kind of have like a backup in the clipboard in case something goes wrong. And it's just one of those examples that I thought everything was fine and the app would sync, turn my iPad off, drive home, get ready to record, and it's gone. I figured I might as well just talk about that and give you kind of a glimpse into life when shit happens, because shit's happening right now. And I had quite a few notes about other things I had to do. I was pretty motivated. I was writing stuff down, making stuff happen, and all those notes are gone. And the way I write notes and the way I assign tasks to myself is I follow the getting things done method. And so it's very much about the idea that when something comes to mind, you get it out of your mind right away, and then you don't think about it, you don't go back to it, and you just basically let your mind be free of it. And so when I write things down, if I don't get them later, if I don't read about them later, they're gone. I have a vague recollection of what I was thinking about earlier, but the actual notes, the to-dos, the tasks, the ideas, they're gone. So maybe there's going to be, a silver lining to this. Maybe the notes will come back later. I don't know, but it is a lesson. It is something to talk about. I'm a big fan of Stoicism, and the book recommendation, the quote that I have today, will reference this exact example. Like, what do you do when things go wrong? What do you do when you lose things? You lose time or things break, whatever. I mean, it's tough, and life is a series of dealing with tough things. And so finding opportunities to deal with them and get better dealing with them when they happen, I mean, it's basically training. If you really consider it, if your plan is to live a long time, you're going to deal with all kinds of stuff in your life. So when these things come up, especially when they're minor and I can pretty much bounce back from them, like today, losing 30 minutes of writing, right? Like, I can obviously bounce back from that. This is an opportunity to consider it, to reflect on it, and not internalize it and let it just kind of get negative, bad energy inside my subconscious that's going to then wreak havoc in other ways. We are here now, and my topic is basically the fact that I lost my topic, and we are going to get to the Daily 6. But the call to action for this is to, when these things well up, you're going to have the pain, the regret, the anger, all those things are going to well up. And I suggest you let them take their course, feel angry or upset for a little bit if you need to. Don't perpetuate it. Don't fuel the fire, but take an opportunity to let it pass and then consider logically, analytically, how you can think about it. I'm going to figure out how to solve the sync problem. Like, that's obviously a big thing. I'm also going to, every time I turn my iPad off, when I'm done for my writing, I'm going to make sure that it's synced, maybe do a double check on my phone, maybe even do a copy paste where I copy the whole text file to like the Apple Notes so I have just a backup source, because I've never seen Notes to do that, to like erase a note. I've learned from this, and I can have a little bit of a backup for it. It's also an opportunity to remember that the things are going to happen in life. Life's not going to be perfect, and you have to just deal with them, and you have to be good at dealing with them. I mean, that's all life is. Life is your life, and the quality of it is going to be how well you deal with adversity, how well you deal with those things that are going to happen that suck. So that's call to action. Let's get to the Daily 6. I'm going to let you go because I got food waiting for me. I've already felt like I've lost a lot of momentum, but I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to take it as an opportunity to kind of flex and train the pain and frustration muscle. Next time, I'm better at dealing with this type of stuff. Daily 6, the quote, "To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." Nietzsche, one of my favorite philosophers. Outside of the Stoics, he's probably the first one I would go to, probably him and Socrates. you got to read some of his stuff. A lot of people misunderstand him. They think he's morose, negative, whatever, but there is so much truth in his philosophy. And if you actually look at his life and how much he suffered, most of us are never going to suffer a fraction of what he did. You know, iron sharpens iron. Great ideas come from the greatest struggles and the greatest obstacles. Daily tip or recommendation. When you don't want to do it, recognize that is a weak muscle, a habit muscle. It's the I don't want to do it muscle. And it's feeble and pathetic. And it's not something you'd want to show in public. Take opportunities as they come up to strengthen by doing reps that muscle so that when you don't want to do it, when you don't want to take action, when you don't want to do the thing that you said you're going to do, or you procrastinate, or you try to convince yourself you don't have to or whatever, you take that as an opportunity to always do it, right? Like it's a huge opportunity right in front of you that is asking, it's a whack-a-mole saying, hey, please whack me down because when you do this, you're going to get more points. It's going to be better in the long run. Instead, we don't want to take the effort and we convince ourselves of whatever. That's not the muscle you want to train, because when you strengthen your procrastination muscle, when you strengthen your I'm not going to do it or I'll do it later muscle, what do you think happens? That muscle gets stronger. In fact, just talking about this is a big idea. Like, I'm going to expand on this probably tomorrow. I love this idea. I love this concept, and I love this analogy of thinking about it. When you don't want to do something, that should be a signal. It should pop up in your brain and be like, oh, I remember Colin said that. I don't really want to do this thing right now, but this is actually the perfect time to do it, and I'm going to get more benefit out of doing it now because I don't want to do it, versus the times when it's easy and I want to do it and I'm motivated and I do it. Well, I don't really get as much out of that. The times when I don't want to do it, there's so much more to be had. So I'm going to take action and do it. Daily book recommendation. Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. He lives in Austin. I've met him. I guess I kind of met him. I saw him in person from a distance, actually. So I guess it's not meeting him. My buddy Mondo met him and talked to him. But yeah, that's funny. Great book. He writes a lot on Stoicism and ancient philosophy and things like that and their modern day interpretations of it. So all of his books, whether it's that or Ego or some of the other ones, all good stuff. Daily health tip. Take more walks. And then listen to an audiobook or a podcast while you're walking. Sometimes you should walk without anything, but sometimes you should walk and basically have a walking, reading, learning routine. I mean, most people would completely change their life if they dived into books and they developed a reading habit and really, really got into books more. I mean, it's just something that's so underrated. It really is. And we watch social media and TikTok and Instagram and all this crap and all these absurd YouTube videos. And it's like, you have to make a choice about what you're going to consume. And what you consume is what you end up becoming. Important. Get outside, get in nature, take a walk, get some vitamin D, get some vitamin D into your eyes, get some sunlight into your eyes to get some vitamin D, and then listen to an audiobook or something, or a motivational YouTube video or whatever. Daily cooking tip. Watch some how to cook X YouTube videos. The thing about cooking is it's about technique. When you understand how to pan fry a piece of protein, for example, you can pretty much apply that to anything, whether it's animal protein or whether it's vegetables, almost anything. It's the same similar technique. And that's why when you understand cooking technique rather than recipes, you have unlimited flexibility and you're more likely to be creative and your meals are going to come out tasting better. Think about it. Most cooks or chefs that go to chef school, culinary school, well, they're learning techniques. They're not going and saying, here's a recipe on Google. Let's learn how to make this. And if they're learning a recipe, it's usually because it's a replicatable technique that is used often. I did one on how to cook a steak. It's the same technique I use every single day, and I will drop a link in the show notes. So daily thoughts about money, and then I'm going to let you go. Get a Simple Card or Oxygen, which is a new one that I just got that's no fees and that has like crazy cash back. There's no reason to ever pay an overdraft fee again. Now, a lot of people bank with Wells Fargo or Bank of America or Chase, like the big banks, because they're convenient. They're like around the corner, whatever. But honestly, those banks do more evil in the world and charge people and take advantage of people. And it's just bad. There's no reason to bank with these legacy banks anymore. They have these new online banks where there's no fees. They give you a free debit card. You see all your transactions on your phone. You can get alerts and all this crap. And best of all, they don't charge you fees. If you're paying overdraft fees, if you're paying a maintenance fee that has some arbitrary, got to have $1,000 in your account at all times nonsense, you are banking in the 90s. Get with the new millennium and let's bank without fees. There's no reason to pay a bank an overdraft fee ever again. That's going to be it for today's show. It's a daily show, so I'm going to see you in the next one.